All right, hello, hello. You guys should be able to hear me. It looks like you can. All right. All right. Sorry, I was trying to figure out my wife walking in the door. I was like, Does she need me?" Thank you, Noro. All right. So, big news in the morning. Non-farm was horrible. Average earnings were good. Again, they've been off on those. I don't know why they've been so negative on those. I actually expected that to be better, but like a point five, like a point four ish, point five ish. Didn't expect the point six. So, but again, you can see that they're off pretty often on those. Like that's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, cat data was great, and then again, this was horrible. Unemployment rate is down, but like, check this out. Labor participation rate is yeah, 61.7. So yeah, yeah, not necessarily the best, right? Not necessarily the best. Um, and I hate when the unemployment rate comes down, but yet this is still super low. So it's kind of one of those things. It's yeah, I don't know. Got to take it with a grain of salt, I think. But again, this number is a hard number. It's whether hired or not hired. So I expected worse. I expected red, but I expected in like the four range, like 450 ish, like 430 ish, maybe. Um, just kind of percentage wise, a little bit worse, right? 235. That's a big drop. Now they did increase it last time, so again that would skew the number. It was supposed to be, they're saying that it was 940,000, came in about 100,000 higher. So again, yeah, I mean, you know, they tend to make those adjustments wrong. So it's kind of it's an interesting debate. It is definitely a split number today. Is it, do we celebrate the, point 0.6 increase? I would say the answer is no. We know inflation is higher than point 0.6, so it's kind of like, yeah, we're getting paid more money. It's like, yeah, but we're paying more. Remember, the inflation's supposed to be temporary. Like the average earnings, it's kind of like, are people going to suddenly are they going to get paid less money? No. So it's like, what do you do with that one, right? Um, and again, inflation's either transitory or it's not. But if the average earnings rate is going up higher, 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 and suddenly, like, why would if people are getting paid more money to entice them to come out and are making more money, and then all things suddenly, like, why would things suddenly get cheaper, right? So it's kind of like an interesting puzzle how this whole thing works out. Um, yeah. So, eh, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that's going to be interesting to watch out for. I'm very interested to see how services works out of 10 in about 22 minutes. Like I said, if this is a negative, um, it could be a rough day for the dollar if this is negative. um, yeah, it's a rough one. So, um, and again, I mean, maybe I'm being overly pessimistic. Maybe it comes in at like a 62 or 60. I don't know, 62.5, 62.8, and it's positive, right? It's not as bad as what they thought. Um, That would be a great way to end the weekend going into holiday. But it's already picked to be negative. And then when you look at all the services Spanish, Italian, French, German, red, red, lower, but not red, but red. Final services, red. UK, red. So, yeah, trend is it's not a good day for services PMI. So, we'll see. We'll have to play that one and see how it goes. All right, so looking at the Australian dollar. Funny enough, funny enough, we had a little bit of a level there at 74.80. Now I'm going to go back and show you guys. This is a level right here, and you can see. And the reason why I had it marked off is because again, it was a top. I mean, this is really kind of where the level is based off of, right? And really, I guess it kind of comes back to this level here, right? But we had a touch, and then we had this last little kind of just hit right there. And remarkably enough, that's exactly what we ran into. And now it's retracing. And I mentioned this to Todd earlier that again, they're look to see how it's taken. I was like, look for some reversals. Looking at the 24-hour pip change, you can see that everything's kind of leveling out. I mean, it was, these guys were much, much higher. The dollar CAD was 144. Now it's only 68. Pound yen is basically flat. I mean, it's what, -2? I mean, -6, not much here, right? I mean, technically we had bad European data, right? So it should be down, right? But again, we had bad UK data too. So, you know, it is definitely pulling back. And, since this one reversed, I mean, it's moved about 46 pips. So, kind of one of those things. Like it's pulling back, right? Um, Looking at the dollar index, and again, everything is red on the indices. Not surprised. You can see that this is what the dollar did, and then it's retracing back. And Todd was very like, "Oh my God, this is amazing! Look at all this dollar destruction." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's all going to come back," and it did. It went all the way down and came all the way back up again, and then kind of dropped again, and now it's kind of rallying back up again. So it's kind of going back. I mean, this is what happens with a split number. So it's a day that you got to kind of be a bit more cautious. So right now, it's kind of I would say on a 30-minute basis, we know we have a decent turn. Looking for kind of major levels. We talked about we had a target at 73.88. I would say right now, I mean, it was a fast up, fast drop, right? It was a parabolic move, right? It's retraced back to the origin of the move. It's an area with some basing in it right now. And we're lining up for another news release. So it's interesting how it's lining up. And again, when you have this kind of like back to back news, with the first one being such a large release, it kind of puts it in an interesting situation. All right. I would like to say there's another amazing opportunity here. If there was nothing else, yes, the ISM services number would be a great release, especially at 10 o'clock for that reversal time. The factors in this one, though, are we already had a huge release, big miss, big movement, crazy movement, and it's a holiday weekend, makes this one a little bit more challenging. Okay. Now, I will say, you got to look at this and say, okay, look, there's a lot of stabilization right there. Are we set up for a long? It does kind of appear that way. And again, if this is a negative number, which it's already expected to be negative, right? So it's got to be like overly negative, more so than what's forecast. Could we have another pop? Yes, we could, right? For it to pop back up and challenge that level, though, it's got to move about another 50 pips. A 50 pip up, 50 pip down, 50 pip back up again. That's 150 pips worth of movement within like an hour and a half. That's a lot of movement. Now, it is more thinly traded. It's lower volume today, so it could absolutely happen. It is it is definitely a level. I mean, you're going to have your people that are looking at your fibs and saying, "Well, wait a second, look at that. It's right around that kind of that 50% mark as well." I thought I had all these done. This is what I was like, "What are we doing?" You know, you can see that the green right now it's right at that 50, and that 61.8 is holding that backside. So there'll be a lot of people that are looking at this one saying, "Hey, look at this. It's another long scenario." I feel like it could be because I feel like dollar weakness is the name of the game today. I feel like it is rallying back up again. So it is definitely something to watch out for, guys, on your radar. And again, we're kind of hovering around that 50 right now. The basing level would have probably been more for kind of the news trade. And it's not really, I mean, I guess it's popped a little bit. It's not really, we'd be looking for a little bit more of a hold, but it's not quite there yet. So I would say that it's there, but be cautious because this is the second news release of the morning. The people that put it this way, um, the easy fish have already been taken out of the pond for the morning, for lack of a better analogy. Right? Think about it. If you're a retail trader and you already lost big this morning, are you going to be more than likely to jump in for another round of a beating, or are you going to say, you know what? It's Friday. I've already lost. I'm done for the weekend. Right? There is probably less people trading this one than traded the first one. Right? The people that made money would still be trading both ways, right? Um, but the people that lost big, they're done for the day. So I would say just keep this on your radar. Watch this one. It's a potential. It is kind of set up. And again, it's a supply. It's a demand zone. It is a 50% area. So it is set up more for long than anything else. Also, yen, kind of the same thing. Also, yen, I didn't change. And again, we had a hit. We had another hit. And again, eventually broke. It did give us a Harry Potter in here, though. I didn't mark this one off. It was a 3 a.m. Harry Potter, right? And again, this short would have got you to just a little bit over a 2-to-1. So it was one you shouldn't have lost money on no matter what. I do believe on the top side, though, you did get this one off the European Open. I forgot to set this one. I had it written down and then didn't take it. Yeah, it went well over its 3-to-1, and again, kind of popped at that 8:30 release. So, again, nice little Harry Potter. It's very easy to see on this one, right? Up, based, pulled back, grabbed the level at 3 o'clock in the morning, session open, and then off to the races, and it was a decent runner, about 30 pips. So again, a nice 10, you know, easy one, right? Um, Unfortunately, that one got broken, and it's a top. So let's see. I don't even know where the um next test is probably up here. Mm, So that should be red. Let me change it to red real quick. Probably our next test is going to be there. Yeah, that's probably going to be the next testing level. Let's take a lot of these old things off so it speeds it up a little bit. You know what? I didn't want to change that. Let me just grab. All right, let's go across. Let's pull this. It's fine. All right, we got some room to run for that one too. All right, so um, I would say, I mean, this is an old area. Again, it gave us the nice little Harry Potter kind of punch higher on that one. I don't know if I'd take it again. I mean, it if gold does pop, it will be, again, it will get drug higher. But I think of the two, I think I like the Aussie dollar better versus playing this one through the proxy. I just think that's a little bit smarter. An area I would mark off, and you guys can see it pretty cleanly here, that we had an area basing and a nice pop and a comeback and a retest. So, with a push to the downside, I think that's it's about 40 pips. That could be a potential reversal too. Um, this could also be a potential area for Sunday if you're trading in spot. Remember, if you're doing Nadex, it's not open, but that's a level to kind of keep on your radar right here, 81.26. This one will turn it yellow because again, we may have a pop through. But yeah, so again, Harry Potter off the morning, easy one. Kind of the same story. We'll mark this off up top as a potential area for the top. Let's do it here for you people that have OCD. There and red. Okay. All right. Euro pound. Euro pound is quite choppy, but really hasn't left. So, you know, even if we bring this across, you can see that it made it all the way down here. Pretty much, what was it? It was a 2.5. It made it to 2.5. So the 3 has not been hit. If you're still in this position, I would just say just jump out of it. Not when you want to hold it and go into it over the weekend. Like I said, most likely you got stopped out of the 1 to 2. We talked about it yesterday. It's really in the same spot. It really hasn't moved much. It's zero. It's in the exact same spot of where we were talking yesterday. So I mean, maybe you rode this down here again and you made another attempt at it. But if obviously you would have been trailing this one super close. Just not much you can do with it. And I would say still watch out for this 86 level. It's still valid. Downside again. Again, few levels down here, but we'll see where we open. I would say, if anything, it's more set up for a continued short back to the downside. So I don't necessarily have a long target for this one yet, particularly going into the weekend. And like I said, I'm not working on. I probably will work. I'll probably look at charts Sunday night, but I doubt I will look at any charts on Monday. I got a bunch of stuff to do that day anyway. So yeah. So I would say bearish this one. All right. So this guy. So we were looking to get long this one, right? We were talking about a break. This is one of those extremely painful entries to get into. It literally did not give us anything, and it rode along the top side. It just went sideways, 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 and sideways. Finally gave us a pop and a pullback, and then popped. And this one was up approximately 1.5, like 1 1/3. So again, your stop loss would have been a break even if you had taken this one. Most likely you got stopped out. And again, is this the ideal scenario? No, not really. I mean, it was already at 1.5. It's there. It is what it is. And then it just started to chop back and forth. So, I would say I like the trade. The one thing I didn't like about it was this entry, that it spent so much time right at the top side. I mean, we went from 13. It spent like 7 hours messing with the top of this instead of just having a clean pop back down again. So you may not have taken it because of this, but even if you did, you were up 1.5 over here. Again, it's not one of those ones that you would have taken, any type of a loss on. So, and again, if you did want to refine it from that level, what you could have done is actually revised it down into kind of this level of basing here. Actually, it should be there for this hiccup. So yeah, maybe you got a 1 to 2. Maybe you got stopped at a break even. Like I said, it was another one of those yen-based pairs. The Aussie yen one, you would have made up, any loss you would have taken on this one if you did it. And then all it did was grab. And again, this is The euro yen is not really. I mean, yeah, the yen's there, but it's not really. Kind of a news based trade there. You can see that it popped up at 8:30, helped pop it up. 9 o'clock hit, and then it rolled. This is a yen, so it's a proxy of a proxy. So why it looks great, and you could say, "Oh, look at that one, man! I got short this one." You could have, but you know, again, proxy for proxy. So, clean levels like we mentioned before are 131, and then again the 130 over here. So, really basically we got a 100 pip area either direction. I would say today, based off of the way the candles look like they're moving today. Again, we've made a valid attempt. We've pushed down. We've kind of cleared it. Again, one, two. We've had three touches of the level. This is kind of the level of buyers that it's kind of clicking through right now. Um, I would say most likely it's not going to hold. I'll remove that one for now because we have the closer one. So I would say if this comes down to 130 today, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And again, a lot of this is going to depend on services. And again, with everything in the deep in the red right now, services comes in red as well. Again, doesn't really necessarily help the situation. That'd be a double smacker for the day on the red side. So I think 130 is definitely there. It's too late to get into it now. If you did get it in there, that would have been purely technical. And again, this is kind of a European tested zone. But again, playing a proxy through a proxy with something like non-farm, a little bit dangerous, right? There's probably better opportunities out there for you guys to grab that one. Okay. Um, Euro dollar. So euro dollar again. This trade is out. We talked about it. I actually explained this when Todd was like, "Yeah, look at this. It's great." I'm like, "No, Todd. It's like this is like." If you played it before, it's great, but if you try to play it afterwards and you're excited about it, that's where it gets dangerous. And you can see it hit that level, right? People bought it here and were like, "Yep, it's going up." Big green candle, and then it tanked and came back down again. So, had you guys, if you guys were in yesterday, we talked about that Harry Potter trade. Actually, yesterday we were sitting actually right in this level here. We were sitting right here yesterday, right? Right there yesterday, and we did. We got the pop about 11 o'clock. It came back down again, and at 12 o'clock, that's where the Harry Potter was initiated. So, had you attended yesterday's session, you guys should have got this one. It did get pretty painful in here to watch because it just kind of went sideways on us. And then again, you may have taken yourself out at 8 o'clock because you did not want to get into the trade when, with such a big news release. Again, with Nadex, you were protected with any spot currency. You could have obviously, brought your stop loss up and made sure that it was a good trade. But again, at the end of the day, news didn't really change the direction. It literally just continued the Harry Potter trade that we had drawn from yesterday all the way back up again. And hopefully, you guys didn't get stuck in the trap. It's kind of a double trap, right? Yeah, this 118.98. It was the opposing zone. It was the target we talked about getting up there. You see this big spike, and you're like, up level's broken. I'm going. It's up, and then immediately crank back on you. Um, it was like a 30 pip down draw on that one. So hopefully you didn't get caught. I'm sure there was plenty of people that did that saw that number and were like, look at this, the dollar is getting rocked. And then yeah. But in 7 minutes we'll figure out if it's gonna take another attempt higher. And this is another one. Again, you were already in a trade. The trade's out for the day on this one. I'd be very cautious because again, it's a second hit of that same level. You can see that we have some, lows coming in, and there was a level there. I mean, the level it just barely got broken. It like just barely peaked out the top of it, and some of that may have been because of the magnitude of non-farm payroll. But if anything, you know, whew, I mean, God forbid this one doesn't. God forbid this one is not as negative, right? God forbid this one comes in green. This one drops right back down again into this lower level. So I would say it's more set up for a short, but again, there will be less people trading this one. So I don't like this one as much today because, again, the easy fish that you're taking money from are out of the market. They've already lost their money for the morning. So yeah, just watch it. Now, if we do head back down again, I would look at this 1898 for a level again on Sunday night. It was a decent level. And I know it got popped through, but I do like how the candles are kind of putting these like consecutive lows in. The lower high, lower high, lower high. So if it does maintain, it does stabilize, and does push back down again, it is back on the books for this weekend. If we do drop down and start coming through, don't forget there is a Harry Potter here again. We talked about it breaking if we were down here. It didn't. Obviously, it was over there. So, um, yeah, look for this one again. We have one short here, and then again a potential Sunday trade. Either two is fine. Pound yen, yeah. Look at this. We had the nice little pop. We had the level. We were looking for 152.42, 41, and it didn't. It just kind of rolled over before it started to push back down again. I would say, watch for this level here. I mean, not that it's the ideal opportunity to go long, but we did have a nice pop. It was at a 9:30 time frame. It was, obviously the yen helping it out, and now it's kind of again, pushing back down again. I'll use this line. It didn't travel that entire distance, but we do have some, you know, consecutive highs here, or coming down, right? You know, I guess if you wanted to draw the three, you could say that it looks like that, right? There's your one, two, three, and then it just kind of a little peek through. Um, Not like there was great pound data today, but I think again, there was a zone. It was in the red area. We're looking for a turn. Right now, this one is it's moved to 11 pips. Sorry, 11 pips in 24 hours. So not a lot, not a ton of trading opportunity, even with everything that's going on. Right, 11 pips. Right, we had the pop up, and we're right kind of here again. So, European markets open for another 2 hours, but and it is not a holiday weekend for them. I think early next week. I think Monday. If you guys are going to be trading Monday, I think Monday is a good day for the pound yen because again, well, pound yen in the European session because there's no yen counterpart, right? Being a proxy for the US market's closed. So if the pound wants to run wild, hey, if the sheep wants to go wild, go for it. There are no wolves on Monday because again, the yen is not in play. So um yeah, would I take this going into the weekend? I don't know if we'll get enough movement. I think being a holiday weekend, I think the volatility is going to drop real quick. The Europeans will be out in 2 hours. We'll probably be out in 2 to 3 hours as well. Just be cautious, but yeah, it's technically it's a level. I mean, there was a big push from there, but we'll see if it can manage to stomach this next little push in 4 minutes. Pound dollar. So pound dollar also has those consecutive lower highs, right? A peak, a peak, a peak, pushing down. So it's kind of the same scenario that we talked about with the euro dollar. It's got about 40 pips more to go. It can absolutely move. I mean, you can see the non-farm payroll number, which is the biggest, was about a 46 pip move. That same move, if we draw it, the one candle, the non-farm one, where we are right now, puts us right into that same zone, right? So I would say ISM is not as big of it. It's definitely not ranked as highly as non-farm, but could it punch into there? It could. I just don't know the long term kind of are we going to be able to punch through that level? We know we got people there on a higher time frame. So kind of the same thinking, if the number comes in good for the dollar, I would watch this same level lower. I would say watch this level here would be a kind of an area to take profit on, right? 137.87. Let's see, how much of a move is that? It's about 70 pips. That's a big move, but again, that could be where we head for the rest of the day. Again, I love when the tops are like this. And the real question is after non-farm, are there going to be many people left that they can take money from? Um, Put it this way: there's definitely going to be less people that trading this number than that we're here for non-farm. All right, so let's take this. Final services from before came in actually lower too. Let's take this off so we can get it ready to go. All right. All right, we'll probably see in the chart first, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I would again, if we get a pop, I'd be looking to short. This would be one I would be okay with. And again, remember Monday, no news is good news typically. So we'll see how that rolls. Dollar CAD. So funny enough, dollar CAD completely retraced as well, dropped all the way down, hit, and dollar CAD was down 144. It's only down 77 right now, and as it should be, this should be retracing. We had, technically, I mean, we had good CAD data. It was yellow, which kind of drove it down. But I don't think the data was as bad. It did come off of a level that was tested. Um, could it drop again? I would say it's kind of the same scenario. I mean, it would have to be not only be weak, but it'd have to be really, really weak. And the question is, how many buyers are left, or how many sellers are left in that area? You can see we had basing there. It kind of touched it. The tested level was just a little bit higher, kind of up in this realm here. Could it do it? Sure, it could. But I mean, I got it. The big question is, can it retrace that much farther down? Can it go another 50 pips, hit this level, and then break below that? I don't know. The non-farm candle was only 41. It's 51 down. So if we go down, I think there could definitely be some opportunity to get long this one again. Probably not from the green, the dotted, the two dashes, but the 2482 level. So, and again, that'd be a it'd have to be it'd have to be pretty negative to get down there. But again, I would say that this level here, um, again, watching this one, maybe even for a Sunday night trade, if we can just drive down and grind down again, that's a potential for Sunday night. All right, let's see what the number is. I don't know, maybe it comes at 61.9 and it's just ultra boring. Mm, Slowest rise in USAV so far this year. Yeah, so it's a little bit less. So it basically came in as expected. So it's a little bit more negative, but it shouldn't be anything earth shattering. So yeah. Um, maybe they were expecting like super red negative. But yeah, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of a push, right? Because it's not they were already expecting negative, it came in negative, it came as expected, so it wasn't the overly negative piece of it. So yeah, I would say again, keep this 124.82. If you guys are looking to put an alert in to kind of start getting in closer proximity, set an alert for this one at 124.91. I think that's pretty decent. Um, I like the level. We know it's been tested now twice. Not the cleanest, but is absolutely on the radar for a Sunday night type trade there. So, um, yeah, yeah, watch that one. Dollar Swiss, kind of the same scenario. Again, we had a kind of this one. Unfortunately, here was our downside target, 9107. It didn't even make it all the way down, and then came all the way back up again. I would say, again, continuing in next week, kind of keep the same thing. The 9189. I'm sorry, 9198 still on the radar. We are quite a ways away from it now, though. Um, we're about 63 pips, so we're like a day and a half away. This could be a potential target for Tuesday morning if we have nothing but kind of dollar strength coming back again because it's been kind of smacked around. It's there. Watch out for it. I think downside if we grind lower. Again, this is also probably going to be more of a kind of a potential Sunday night type trade would be 90.87. So kind of looking there, top or bottom, either way. All right. Dollar yen. So yeah, God, dollar yen. We were looking for the Harry Potter. We didn't get it. We knew that, like, we had an assumption that it was going to break because of this. It dropped, it pulled back, it dropped in. It didn't give us the actual entry. Now, when we see that, sometimes we do talk about if we get a clean, instead of waiting for the pullback, take it on a clean break because we know it's already been smashed through. It already pulled back again. You know, there's not going to be as many people sitting there. Had you taken that, then yes, you did quite well in this trade, right? Um, it's so funny. I had to like bring it all the way over here. It's like, no, no, we didn't enter the trade yet. Um, I hate when it does this. It's like I can't because of that one candle. Trading view is funky like that. But anyway, you can see that it came past. So this is one of those things. Some of you would have got this one on a break of 109.86. It's down. It's having issues at this point. The full profit target on it was 109.47. I would say most likely it does have the ability to run down there today. Let's see. It is only an additional 16 pips to the downside. It's within range. I mean, I'm not going to tell you different. I think it can get down there. I think it will push down there today. The 109.47 again. I think that has the potential for a Sunday night area to go long from if we can open up really, really close. Reason why is because, again, the U.S. won't be open. There'll be an Asian session, but as much as we've seen this one get kind of pushed to the downside, I think it is due for a bit of a reversal. So I think it comes back. Um, you know, obviously with as much movement as we had, you also have to be thinking about, are we in some type of a 30-minute, 4-hour downtrend setup, right? Should we be looking for pullbacks? I would say, yeah, but at the same time, look for the opposing level. Remember, a downtrend setup works when we're running to a level. When it's at a level, it makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to do much with. All right. So, just kind of be cautious with it. Not my favorite pair right now. I mean, it's down 35 pips, but I think this reverses early next week. All right. Um, let's go ahead and do oil. So, oil obviously high, but now it's an inside day. We are kind of stuck right here right now. Actually, let's bring this across to its 430. Um, you know, yesterday we had the retracement. Again, I still have a level up at 7061. We haven't been able to get to it. It kind of hit here. If you use yesterday's top and drew it there, you can see that again, that's exactly what we bounced off of at the session open and pushed it down. So there was an oil trade this morning. I think trading oil this morning, I think would have been, a little bit dangerous. There would have been your oil trade. Um, the reason why is because, again, non-farm is more of I'd say more of a currency slash indice based scenario. Um, does it carry over into oil? Sure. I mean, less people driving means less demand on oil. And again, that's probably why we had such a big movement. But again, you typically want to play the release that is most pertinent. This one, not necessarily is this pertinent. So I would expect this kind of to rise back up again today. Again, services weren't really changed that much. Again, people seem to like oil higher. So again, wasn't oil actually the 1 to 3 is right there. So you can see it blew the oil release out. Okay. Um, and I guess we can leave that there. I mean, I guess it was a decent. We'll leave that there. Um, it wasn't the 7061 we were looking for, but yeah, it was there. I would actually like this if it comes lower though. I mean, if it wants to go lower, I'm not going to argue with it. I would say probably watch there on the next bottom. Where does that put us? 68.92 could be a viable pot. That could be a viable spot for next week. I don't know if we'll have enough time today. Remember, this market closes at 2:30, so we only got 4 hours left. I don't know if we'll have enough time to kind of come all the way down and then go all the way back again. But this could be something to watch out for next week, particularly at like a Tuesday morning open. Could be interesting. And by the way, here's your up, and so far it's been down. Okay, so gold. So yeah, gold. Ty was very excited. He's like, "Oh, gold's that's it. Gold's finally breaking out of this range." I was like, "I don't know if it's going to break out of the range. I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls back." Um, and again, I think a lot of the mystique is out of it at this point, and it's kind of like, "Oh, is the market great?" Oh, I mean, remember, it's great that more people are getting, the average earnings are going up, but like I said, it's that inflationary thing. If there's that much inflation there, it's going to be transitory. You think, what's going to happen? It's kind of like, are the average earnings also transitory? Is the big question. So I actually wouldn't expect if gold does nothing but kind of creep back down today. Being on a Friday, it's going to get really, really thin, but I would not be surprised if this one comes and retraces. And we're talking about this 1815 level on Monday. Uh, Reason why is because again, if the labor market is really that bad, maybe there's no justification for inflation yet. And if inflation is transitory because the labor market is not good, the average earnings will also come back down again. So, and remember, this was a little bit worse, but not horribly bad. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it rolls back down and we're in the same level of equilibrium. Probably again, 1815 is kind of what I would assume. Silver again, fast adjuster. This one finally broke through that level. I mean, it had made so many attempts, and finally, silver has not turned and tried to push back down yet. There are some levels, but the problem with silver right now is we're kind of dealing with this racetrack that there wasn't a lot of support behind this level. And again, it's been a long time since it's been to that level, and multiple attempts have been kind of thwarted. I would say the hard part about silver right now is literally the fact that here I'll just copy this one because I know it goes all the way to the end. Um, Really, we don't have another level until up here, right? $25. So another 50 cents up. There's just not a whole lot in there. Maybe we got like a little, maybe we get a little bit of a kind of an aggressive entry right there. But look how much space that is, right? That's quite a bit of movement. So any type of turn now is going to be inside of a racetrack, right? So it's going to have to be low volume, and again, we're going to have to find a new top if we're going short here. Now the question is, do we pull Harry Potter on silver? Maybe, maybe. I mean, it is officially September, and this one only has what, October? No, we have 3 months to go. Wait, yeah, we have 3 months to go, and this is going to move $75 according to Reddit. So I don't know. Maybe now is when it takes off. Maybe we, maybe we run up to $25. But I think $25 would be a very hard time today to kind of to push all the way to. I think it's had a lot of movement. I think this is people being a little bit overexcited. But once this top comes in, I think this one also retraces back, and I wouldn't be surprised if Monday again we're kind of sitting back over in that range for a parabolic retracement. As far as the indices go, right? So let's drop this down. And again, indices today is kind of funky to play. Let's see. There's your area of interest. We can leave that on there. We talked about this going back down, and we talked about it pushing all the way. It made it about half of the way down. So again, it blew right through those two. We can take those off. Again, it did move from that level. Um, we talked about driving down here and the news helping us. Unfortunately, we stayed high, so it pushed. We'll just remove that. That wick is going to be a pain, though. Mm, that's an interesting spot. although it hit at 10 o'clock for a reversal. It's a little bit early. It's not a bad level for a reversal. It's looking for the U.S. default on a thing. Let me see if there's any other things in there. The hard data has collapsed in recent months, so soft survey data was finally given more stimulus. Okay, and now the move variant. Yeah, slump. Yeah, growth. Yeah, it's not bad. Inflation pressures across the private sector remain elevated. Yeah, it's this I was watching for. All right, so I would say, although this level maintained it looked like this morning, none of the data today was great. Curious to see if though we get an end of the day rally from the 45.13. Hmm. Yeah, I would say probably. Hmm. Question is how light on volume are we going to be end of day today? Is the question. It's not a bad level. I like it that it touched and it kind of punched through. Question is this 9:30 opened? Actually, I guess it's the 9:45 candle. Is that going to be the reversal for the day? Remember, typically the reversals come in at 10:30. Obviously, everything before that was straight down. I'm kind of wondering if we rally up a little bit, if we turn and roll back down. I don't know that we're going to get an entry because again, we're dealing with just wicks at this point. But we're 15 minutes from the reversal time. Um, much is that to the downside? 16. Hmm. Gonna make me do all this. Volume is not that valuable of a tool. I hate to inform you. It is not that it is not that. Does it give me any volume? Mm, that's fine. Yeah, you can see the volume's already lower. So look at this. So volume currently right now, the 10 o'clock is here. Let's see, can I put a horizontal line on? Yeah, there's our 10 o'clock window. There's your 10 o'clock yesterday. So you can see higher volume yesterday, right by this time. So we're already starting to see somewhat of a volume reduction. Now, again, we didn't have kind of the pre, obviously, the pre matters, but I'm just trying to see how many people are left in the market. So, I mean, it still has a chance to run. It can still move a little bit, right? And it is continuing to climb. Actually, I'm sorry, the 10 o'clock one was there yesterday. Yeah, it's right there. So we got that much more room to run in one more minute. Can I run fibs on that? That would be kind of interesting, right? Yeah, it's almost at a half. So, interesting way to run fibs. So, yeah, we're pushing. It's trying. It's got 1 minute to go. But yes, so far it looks like it's going to be lower volume during this time frame. So we are rallying up. So the question is, do we pull up to a level and do we take something like this if we can get there in the next, I don't know, the next 15 minutes? Right? Do we look for that as our kind of reversal for the morning? Or is this do nothing but kind of retrace back again? Is the big question. I would say, I mean, overall, the market is justified to be red today. Um, and again, it's kind of more of a pullback than anything else. I'm curious to see, and like you said, I wonder if Jack's over there. I'm like tempted, like, hey, are you shorting this right now? You should probably message him, and be like, hey, are you shorting it? Um, It'd be kind of funny. Let's see. I'm gonna message him and be like, hey, what are you shorting? Yeah, it's not the ideal scenario. I was wondering if it was gonna be at the same, if the peak was gonna be where that one was reversing. Yeah, yeah, it came in less. Yeah, less. Not didn't miss it by much, but yeah, it's less. Um, See if Jack's taking some shorts from that level. Yeah, so I would say watch out for that reversal, but I wouldn't play with this one longer. Unfortunately, there's no big trade in that one. NQ is the only one in the green right now. And again, if we continue this across, here, I'll just put another one on. Right? There's your touch, there's your push. So technically, there was another trade in there. Not sure why. Why does it not give me that? Sometimes this just doesn't like to work. I don't know. Oh, I guess because it's kind of like it's like, oh yeah, look, there it is. It went past. Yeah, but I only needed it to go to there. So again, you guys can see. I don't know, let's see. Yeah, there you go. Your 5 minute. There was your touch. There was your down. So obviously you can see on a 15. Let's go back down to a 30 or a 15. Sorry. So I would say watch that level. Again, not the best idea, but it did hit it and drop yesterday. The news at 8:30 hit that level and drop it again. Um, is it good for one more hit? I would say, yeah, I would say kind of watch it. And the reason why is because if we take a reversal, I mean, everything has kind of rallied. Everything is down, but it's all rallying back up again right now. If everything starts to turn and flip, again, we're at that 10:30 reversal time. It's sitting right there at 15,676. So it's decent. There was an area of interest. That full profit target was cranked through and hit. Um, yeah, we know we don't really have a whole lot till all the way down here, right? It's kind of the other side of this story. There's a little sticking point there, but not as worried about that level. But let's change it to orange. Okay, so yeah, 17,675, 676. Again, news hit it this morning and dropped. Same trade as yesterday. YM. So YM is battling for the most negative, right? And unfortunately, this one didn't really have a great level to bounce off of. This is an old area of interest. We'll put it there because, again, it got confirmed here. YM does not have a whole lot. It's down 109 right now. Fortunately, there's just not a lot of. Heck, I'm wondering if we take a short on the other side of that one. Because we have our one touch here, our two touches, our three touches. This is hit number four if it comes through. Let's see what that looks like. Short. It does make it in. Yeah, if you're looking for something later. Like I said, we may not get down to there. But 35,200, they'll be like, hey, listen, we're below 35,200. That's not a bad, that's not a horrible runner. If this does, again, it's got to turn. But if this one finally goes, I mean, it's the weakest of the three. If everything else turns and rolls at 10:30, this one would, again, that would be kind of a potential target. But it looks like it wants to do a parabolic. Again, this is set kind of for a parabolic retracement, but there's a kind of wick back and forth. I don't know. If you take it long, more power to you. It's not an area that I would have gone long from. Even on the 15 minute, you can see there's a little bit of a pop here, but nothing really. No great stabilization. And Russell, again, looking for that one. We're looking for a drop through. And again, this one kind of peaked out just a little bit late last night. Again, 830 push beyond what the target was supposed to be anyway. So um, I would say Russell is at risk of being red too. I don't really have great levels in this one either. Mm, Yeah, there's not really great levels. Uh, I would keep this for next week. Okay, break above 2311. Look for this one to go. Look for the pullback. Again, happy with the way that this one based through. And again, we were looking for that one to come down. You can see, obviously, it went well past. There was your 1 to 3. Particularly at news time, it was set more for the short than anything else. But yeah, right now, I would say, again, I would stay negative this guy. I don't see anything in here. I mean, this little area of buyers here and this spacing is probably not enough. So, yeah, like it negative. Let's see what everybody else is doing. Funny enough, Apple hit again. Copy. Price was not properly defined. Copy. All right. So price was not properly defined, but there was your same trade, and there's your 1 to 3. Right there. So you can see it's kind of already hit and kind of come back again, but two trades on Apple, right? Tesla. Look at Tesla playing with this line. Tesla, same thing. What else we got in here? Everybody's above 50 again. Oh, I need natural gas to come down. Come on, guys. Not up, down. Oof. TLT took it on the chops today. Well, at least it's got some buyers below. Dollar index is trying, but I like the bottom of this. This is not bad. Yeah. Like you said, let's see. Is there any other big news we got to hear about? All right, I'll click it. The U.S. hitting the debt ceiling and having issues making payments is pretty much a recurring theme. All I gotta say is if we default, yeah, yeah, the Democrats will just vote. The Democrats can still give themselves whatever they want. So, uh, that's kind of it, guys. Like I said, let's see what dollar if dollar cat's continuing to push. Yeah, dollar cat's trying to come back down again. Um, again, positive CAD news. Swiss is just kind of stuck. That one's out and still pushing. Euro pound should be Euro pound's moving a bit again, but again, your 1 to 3 is officially out. Yeah, your 1 to 3 is officially out now. Just came out that last candle. So, yeah, like I said, Friday holiday weekend. Looks like all the news is done for the day. We'll see if again. I would say even though it's a holiday weekend, there is a potential because it will be lower volume for an end of day type of rally. Is there going to be a feel good Friday today? Probably not, unless something major happens. Um, like I said, the news was just too negative today. And then again, this figure being a bit lower, I think feel good Friday's probably off today. Do we continue shorting? Eh, probably not. I would say that a couple of these are probably in that range, but big question is, are we going to head for a reversal between 10:30 and 11 o'clock? And thus far, the market's been retracing the news. Question is, do we continue and keep going lower? Let me see what oil's doing one last time. Yeah, oil's kind of pulling back to that downside again. And again, gold's making an attempt. I would actually be fine if we can get up to 1830. I think shorting gold and going into next week would actually not be horrible. Yeah, nothing's going to slow silver down. So silver, we got room. So all right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. Like I said, kind of Friday on a holiday weekend is always a little bit weird, but all right. So Ernest won yesterday. If I close it down right now, Ernest is not even in the drawing, so he can't win. Who else is in here? I got Briggs, Eki. Where's Ross? Ross is supposed to be here today. It is a Friday. Ross is supposed to be here. We got Ecky. Debbie's like, close it. Maybe he's not here today. All right. I'll give him another 3 seconds. Two, one. All right. I guess Ernest is off today. So, all right. Let's see who we got. It's fresh. 25 pip chips, wherever the winner is. And the winner is. Wow. Neuro's over here going, close it down, close it down, close it down. Just to win. Although he did have 2 tickets. So, in everybody else's defense, he did have more tickets than anybody else. He did have a higher chance. He had a 28% chance of winning. So, yeah, there's that. Statistics were on his side today. So we'll close it down. Let's go to the leaderboard. Neuro is chasing him, chasing him down. And there we go. All right. So with that said, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Uh, I think there's going to be some trading opportunity, potential for trading opportunity. As I said, I think the Open may, again, because it is low volume, there may be some opportunity to kind of warp it around. But if you guys have hit your profit for the day, shut it down. And again, be very cautious with whatever you trade on Monday. It is definitely a lower volume day. I know the whole rest of the world doesn't, they're not celebrating Labor Day, but doesn't mean the markets aren't open. So I think there will be some Sunday night trades. I wouldn't be surprised for that European move. If you guys have the ability to whether stay up late or, wake up early to trade it, the European session on holidays tends to be a good session. There's no dollar counterbalance or anything. It's a pure kind of European market with plenty of money out there. I mean, the European session is a big session. So again, if you guys are up Monday morning, you guys want to trade on the morning because you're not working, it can be a good morning. So I mean, don't let don't don't let the fact that the U.S. market is closed be anything to discourage you from looking at some charts. Um, so with that said, you guys have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll catch you guys next week. Take care.